Hey, we're the Ohio guys on location at Youmacon in Detroit, Michigan. Today we're joined by Tony Oliver. How are you doing today?
Very good, very good. Now I'm confused. Ohio guys,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
We
Just getting it straight.
Well, we travel around a lot. Some of our members are from Chicago. We have a couple members from Michigan. We have a couple members from West Virginia, but we were founded in Ohio.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Sorry, I just couldn't help it.
That's fine. People ask about it all the time. What's your favorite thing about Halloween?
I don't know. It's fun. I mean, I like the kid aspect of it. The kids dressing up and getting the candy, and it's kind of a fun thing for them. That's really my favorite part of it. It's just kind of the fun jovialness of it. And I don't eat candy anymore, but I used to like that a lot too.
What's it like working in the industry today?
Well, I mean, working in this industry, it's difficult. It can be hard. These days it's coming back. In terms on the anime side, it's coming back. It's starting to. I actually am quite busy now and doing a lot of stuff, and there's more on the horizon, and so that's good. So we're instead of the shrinking that we were doing before, it's starting to expand again. Show business of any kind is difficult. Any creative endeavor is difficult. There's a lot of people that want to do it. There's a lot of people that think they can and really can't. And you have to wade through all of that in order to get there. It's a tough one to get into and maintain, but I've been very, very, very lucky.
You're saying the starving artist.
Yeah, I didn't like the starving artist thing.
Bet you nobody does.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. What's the favorite show that you've worked on? I know people say it's like picking your favorite baby.
Usually, but I worked on a show last year I directed and called Fate Zero. And by far, I think it's the best thing I've ever seen come out of Japan, and it's really maybe the finest show I've ever gotten the privilege to work on. And I had a cast that was to die for. So, yeah, I watched it. It's the first time I've ever gotten a box set of a show I worked on, where I had to have it.
You touched on it. What's it like working on the Fate series?
Well, Fate was interesting because I played Lancer in Fate Stay Night, so I was familiar with the franchise a little bit. And then when they tapped me to direct this, and told me I wasn't playing Lancer, I went, well, that's weird. Why? And then I saw it, and I adapted the scripts as well, and it was a meticulous, painstaking process. It was one of those that was really challenging, but it was really fun because of the challenge. And for a change, because usually when we're doing this stuff, we're moving. We got to move very quickly. The budgets are very tight, and we have this limited amount of time to get stuff done in. And so sometimes I don't take as many takes as I maybe ought to. But on Fate Zero, they said, take your time. Do it right. So we really spent a lot of time meticulously. I was working with the actors for them to find just that right balance of acting and reality that you have to really move people. And my cast was able to do it so wonderfully. So when we were done with it, it was like, yeah, this was the best we could do with it. And literally, the actors we had were so good. There's a scene where one of the characters' demise, and it was so powerful. Literally, we're weeping in the studio as we're recording it. And right after that, a friend of mine who works with agency stuff came in and sat her down and and showed it to her, and she's didn't know anything about the show, and tears are streaming down her face too. So it was a great experience, and I'm crossing my fingers we get to do more with these folks.
Good. If you could be any of the characters you've played in real life, who would it be? And you can mix and match them if you want to.
Wow. I like real life. It's a lot less complicated. No aliens and mechs trying to kill you. I know.
Yet with the mechs.
Yeah. I don't know. Rick Hunter. I liked his spunk and his kind of little bit of rebelliousness, and yet his dedication to honor what he needs to do. Gosh, it'd be hard to. I like Minato from Naruto because he's warm and he's father. I'm a dad too, and so somewhere kind of between those two guys.
Okay. What was it like working on Lupin the Third?
Lupin was fun. It was fantastic. I mean, with Richard directing, we're laughing all the time, and he's a great writer too. And so when the jokes weren't working, he would rewrite them, and suddenly they would work. And it was an easy voice for me, and it was the first time I got to play a comic lead. Maybe the only time I played a comic lead, and I just loved doing the voice. He was just so much fun, you know. And we just laughed a lot. It was one of those shows where you just kind of, oh, I'm going to work today, yay.
It's very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
It really
thanks.
is.
We had fun making it.
What was it like working on Vandred?
Vandred was interesting because I had, when I went to work at Saban Entertainment, I really kind of walked away from voice acting full time at that point, and really focused on the writing and producing and then later directing that I was doing there. And then Power Rangers came along and really sucked up my time. When I left Saban, one of the anime industry was booming at that moment, so let me jump back into there because that's where I came from. And Vandred was like my second show that I got, and the first time I played a lead since Robotech, and it was fun. It was scary trying to get back into it and getting, you know. But the voice was kind of funny because it just kind of came out. But then I realized what it sounded like was, if you've watched it, you'll laugh when you say this. It was think of Luke Skywalker in the trash compactor yelling up at 3PO. 3PO! That's the voice.
It does. I've seen the series. You're right. It does.
So yeah, and it was weird. It was kind of poignant too. We were recording on 9/11. I had to work that day, and it had already, you know, everything had already happened by the time. But I didn't get a call to stay home. And in my business, you have contracts. You show up, you know, no matter what happens. And so we got there, and the scene so we're recording and then running out of the studio to watch what's going on TV, and then going back and recording. And the scene that I had to record last was the scene where Hibiki is walking through this devastated city. And it was so hard to do. So we canceled the day after that.
We need some time off.
Yeah, we need to think about this. Well, I was supposed to direct, I was a backup director on a show called Monk Holy Nights. And I was supposed to jump in and direct that afternoon because the director was out. And I got a call from the company there going, it was comedy. It says, nobody's going to be funny today.
Yeah,
go home.
Not a good day.
Yeah.
Is there anything coming out you can talk about right now, or anything that might have recently come out that you want to plug?
Well, yeah. Right now, earlier this summer, Gargantia made its premiere, and I really liked that show. I thought it was wonderful, and I'm hoping it'll find some legs here pretty soon. It hasn't been out quite long enough to tell if it's going to really take off or not. I've been working on Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, and we're just in the process of doing another volume of that. That's coming up. There's a show that Actually, I can't talk about that. And
we understand.
I'm trying to think. I've done games, but can I talk about them yet?
Yeah, games are tricky.
I think it might have already come out. Danganronpa 2?
I'm not sure.
That should be out here pretty soon. I thought it was going to come out in October, November. So it's like a battle royale type of game.
Oh, okay.
A visual novel actually is what it is, with trials, murders, and it's kind of tongue in cheek and yet dangerous and yet funny and all that stuff. And that's about all I can talk about. Oh, and I'm for your folks who listen on the West Coast. I am opening in a play. I'm doing a play called Sex, Love, and the IRS, and we open January 10th in San Francisco.
Well, there you go.
So.
Go out and see him. Facebook, Twitter, any other social medias people can...
Yeah, a couple things. Can I talk about my voice acting workshops?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because I teach a thing called Adventures in Voice Acting. I do it all over the country, mostly in LA, but occasionally in Chicago, Seattle, always in New York once a year. And there are these full-day anime-based voice acting workshops where we work with real anime and real studios. When we play back after we record, you hear yourself with the original voices, so you can really see where you're at. And they're a lot of fun. They're full-day workshops. They have beginning, intermediate, and advanced. And that's the first website I'll give you. It's www.adventuresinvoiceacting.com/workshops. And you can get on the email list and find out about that if it's coming to your city. My next ones are in LA and then probably San Francisco. For me, Tony Oliver Voice Actor is my Facebook, facebook.com/Tony Oliver Voice Actor. I think that's how they lay it out.
Yeah.
And my website is TonyOliverEntertainment.com.
Okay.
So,
We'd like to thank you for joining us today.
well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. We're the Ohio Guys on location. I'm Mike, he's Tony, and we'll see you next time.